Welcome everyone to the Queen of TV channel. Before we get into our intro, let's get into some things first. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please watch the video to the end. There will be cursing and profanity. If that's not your cup of tea, this channel is not for you. Lastly, I will be giving my honest opinion about the episode and the show as a whole. Without further ado, let's get into our intro. Welcome, everyone. I am your host, the Queen herself, and you are the Prince and Princesses. Why? Because you're either a subscriber or you are a viewer. Either way, welcome. Today, we'll be talking about H2O Season 2, Episode 26, Unfathomable. I hope I'm saying that right. So we start this episode off with Lewis and Cleo being lovey-dovey before Emma and Rikki show up to pull Cleo away as they're supposed to be going to Emma's house to prepare for the full moon. And Lewis did state when they were leaving that he felt that this full moon was going to be stronger this time, but Rikki stated that, Emma stated that they've handled the full moon before, so they should be fine. But instead of going to Emma's house, they go to the Juice Net Cafe, and she says that, they could get a juice first. But Rikki and Cleo state this. Cleo said, I thought we were going to your place. And Rikki said the only reason why he wants to come there is because she wants to chat a certain guy behind the counter up. So they see that Charlotte's there, and Emma wants to tell her about the full moon because she does not experience one yet. Rikki does not, and Emma reminds Rikki that Charlotte could expose her secret to the world. Cleo doesn't want to do it because Charlotte hates her now for being back with Lewis. So they all three do it together, and it does not go well. Charlotte is not willing to listen to what they say, stating that she's more mermaid than all three of them put together. This is when she attacks them using Cleo's combined aerokinesis powers and lifts them up in the air. Hold on. One leg. Sorry about that. I'm back. So Charlotte decides to let the girls go when Ash walks out of the juice net, and Ash is surprised to see what he has seen. There's no way they can't say he didn't see that. He asks what that was about, and Emma doesn't give him an answer. We see that Lewis is with Max, and Max reveals that this full moon is actually the same full moon that took away Gracie's powers, and that it will take away any mermaid's powers forever. And they should keep the girls from the pool. So when Lewis gets to Emma's house, he finds out that Charlotte attacked them. He is comforting Cleo, and Emma gets upset. I mean, Rikki gets upset, not Emma. That Lewis is more worried about what happened to Cleo than all three of them. And she states that, it was no thanks to him that this happened. But Cleo said it's not Lewis's fault. But she says, oh no, it's his psycho girlfriend's fault. Lewis decided to go confront Charlotte, and he tries to talk to her about gaining some perspective on what just happened, that she can't be attacking the girls, but she's not listening to him. She wants him to get back together with her, but she says, she wants them to be together again, but he lets her know that's not going to happen. He's with Cleo now. She tries to blame the fact that he's with Cleo and that she's turned him against him, that he's turned her into the bad guy to him. And he says no one has done anything to him. He makes his own decision. She tells him that she's not going to let him make that mistake. We get a damn repeat of episode 6. So he tells her about the full moon like a dumbass. And she tells him, okay, she believes him. It's obviously she knows what this full moon is about, and that it's the very full moon that took her grandmother's powers. Duh, she talked to Max before. Like, she became a mermaid, so she already knows. And they get everything set up at Emma's house, except Ash shows up wanting answers about what happened that morning. Emma's giving him the runaround. Lewis shows up asking why Ash is there. Rikki tells him, don't worry, Emma will get rid of him in time by the full moon. Well, she doesn't, because it is full moon time. So they're stuck with him there. Charlotte decides to look at the full moon and use his powers to go attack the girls while they're vulnerable and don't expect it. So while Emma and Ash are talking, and Emma's trying to convince Ash nothing's going on and she doesn't know what he's talking about, while upstairs, Cleo with Rikki and Lewis can hear some water running, and that's when they notice that the water's on by itself and it won't turn off. This is when Charlotte is starting to cause a lot of things in the house to start messing up. We see the teapot blow off steam without even being plugged in, and then the water in the sink starts coming out, and Ash can't get it to turn off, and he doesn't know what's going on. He's asking Emma about it, but she doesn't have any words for it. Then the refrigerator start acting up, and then that's when she lifts up a stream of water and dumps it all over Ash's head. And at this point, you got to tell him. So Lewis decides to go outside to go confront Charlotte, where he tells her to stop, but she refused, so he has to stand in front of her and told her, yeah, you've done enough. And he decides to trick her into going to Mako Island so he can have her lose her powers forever. He thinks that he's tricking her, but she falls into this idea that she can trick him back so that way she can get Cleo there, and that would get all three of them there, and it costs them all lose their powers. So she lets him believe that he's tricked her, and she decides to leave. This is when he tells Cleo, but Cleo doesn't think it's a good idea. She doesn't want him to go, and she tries to go after him, but Emma and Rikki stop her because the full moon is out. Lewis makes it to Mako Island, where he finds Charlotte, and Charlotte was like, I knew you would come, and he's trying to convince her to get in the water, but she's like, in all due time, Lewis, and it's obvious she knows what he's trying to do. Emma comes downstairs where Ash confronts her and tells her that either she tells him the truth or that's it. She doesn't tell him the truth, so he leaves. Rikki states to Emma that Cleo is gone. And Lewis is still at this island trying to get Charlotte to get into the water. And when Lewis asked her what she's doing there, she said she was worried about him. And Charlotte said, "Your friend shouldn't have came, Lewis. You mean his girlfriend, bitch?" So he tells her that she shouldn't be here, and that's when Charlotte reveals that she knew that Lewis was trying to trick her to get into the moon pool, and that she knows that this moon tonight is a very special moon, that when all the planets align together, that she outsmarted him, and that any mermaid in that pool will lose their powers forever, because she actually tells Lewis to tell her about the full moon, and he tells her what Max told him. And we are given full confirmation this is how Gracie lost her powers. So Emma and Rikki realize they cannot keep hiding out. They is going to have to go out there. Cleo needs their help, and this plan that Lewis had is not going to work. Charlotte is crazy. So they look at the full moon and they leave. Lewis tries to get Charlotte to drop this madness that she has, but she's like, not listening to him. He tells her that she's going to end up doing something she's going to regret. She tells him she's not going to regret this at all, that he'll see she'll be the only special one for him. Bitch, he is not finna break up with his girlfriend. Even if she's not a mermaid, he's not finna break up. Hell, at this fucking point, if they do lose their powers, I'm turning your ass in. You're in danger, not me. Shit, you call me heartless, but I'm doing it. You crazy dumbass. So luckily, Rikki and Emma show up. Rikki uses her powers, and Cleo gets Lewis to distract Charlotte. He tells her, "So this is about me." Well, he's letting you know right now it ain't gonna work, because of course it's not gonna work. And she tries to state that Cleo doesn't deserve her power. She's not worthy. Lewis says she is more than worthy, and that Charlotte could be too. No, she couldn't, if she just does the right thing and let her real self show through. This is her damn real self. Um, Charlotte's like, Lewis says she can't get the words out, and this is when she notices that Cleo has disappeared. She pushes, which when she was first being distracted, why didn't Cleo just swim out? That's what I thought at first, but then I realized, oh yeah, they got to put her in the moon pool. But this is where I said in the previous episode, Charlotte gets physical with Lewis. She pushes him down, and he ends up almost hitting his head on the rocks. He's okay, but still, it's there. She's screaming about where is Cleo at, and this is where Cleo emerged from the smoke, and Emma and Rikki follow, and Rikki lets her know don't get all steamed up, and Emma says we're here to cool you down. Cleo and Emma do a rehash of season 1, episode 26, where they create a ball of water which is frozen and throw it at Charlotte, but she counterattacks it and sends it back at them. She then states to them, "Did you really think you could beat me?" And then she creates a 3-headed snake from water to go at the girls, which scares Lewis, and the girls are scared at first, but then they use their powers not backing down, which causes the snakes to back off. But then Charlotte remakes them and sends them back to the girls by having them come behind them and cause the girls to back away towards the moon pool. This is when the moon starts to come over the moon pool, and Charlotte said it's time, and this is when she turns the 3 damn snakes into fucking pythons. And Lewis states to her, "Don't mess with magic, Charlotte. It can get out of control." This is when the girls use all 3 of their powers together, like they did in the first episode of this season. And Charlotte asks who wants to be the first to lose their tail. How about I choose? Cleo. How about we choose? You. Because this is when she notices the hurricane. I don't know why the fuck she couldn't hear it. This is freaking Charlotte out, and she asks what's going on, and Rikki shoots down a bolt of lightning on top of those snakes, stopping Charlotte dead in her tracks, and she releases her powers, and then Rikki does it again, causing the snakes to turn completely back into water. This is when the girls turn the combined aerokinesis power onto Charlotte like they once did to Lewis and how Charlotte did to them. Charlotte tries to counterattack, and the scene is of them going back and forth to the girls, to Charlotte, to the girls, to Charlotte, to the girls, to Charlotte, until it lands right on the Charlotte. She is lifted up in the air as she is screaming, and they put her above the moon pool, and they hold her up there for a second as the camera shows all three of the girls staring up at her. Charlotte then prepares for the inevitable. It's time to drop. They drop her. She lands into the water screaming, where we see her tail reappear and disappear until it fully disappears. She comes up to the surface where she is completely human. As the girls look down on her smiling, Rikki tells her nice legs. This is when Charlotte realizes she has lost her tail, and then the moon passes from over the island. Charlotte goes to the pier where Lewis is fishing to go talk to him and try to, explain herself. The conversation goes like this. Haven't seen you around for a while. The fish from Charlotte. Lewis, the fish have been biting. Charlotte says, it's weird the way things work out. Lewis says, yeah. Charlotte said, I guess I wasn't really cut out to be a mermaid, just like my grandmother. You know, all I ever wanted was for you to care for me. Lewis, I did. But Charlotte says, but you care for Cleo more. Lewis says, I can't help it. Charlotte, that's just the way things are. Charlotte says, well, if you ever change your mind, look me up, won't you? Lewis doesn't say any damn thing, because else to the fucking no, we're not looking you up. Charlotte says, I better get going. Lewis stops her and says there's one other thing. She realizes she gotta get a damn locket back. She gives it back, and Lewis puts it over Cleo's neck, and Cleo says it's good to have it back. Emma lets her know that it's right where it belongs, and Rikki wonders if they can trust Shaw to keep quiet, but Lewis says Shaw gives her word because really, that's the only least damn thing she can do. Rikki states this is the worst kept secret of all time, but Emma lets her know it's going to be a little less secret. She tells Ash, and like I've said before in another episode, when Ash saw her as a mermaid, he says she looked cool, and then we get a rehash of what the girls did back in season 1, episode 3 with Lewis by seeing them do it again with Lewis, Zane, and Ash. They wave away their boyfriends and they jump in the water and swim away, and the episode ends. So let's talk about it. She has finally lost her powers. Okay. Charlotte stating that Cleo isn't worthy of her powers and that once Cleo loses her powers, she'll be the only special one for Lewis. Like, Charlotte generally fucking thinks that Cleo not being a mermaid because that's the reason Lewis is with her. It's some bullshit that she done read from Max's story and took it into account that maybe being a mermaid is the reason for Lewis's heart to go beating for someone. No. Like, of course the fuck not. No, he's not finna dump his girlfriend. He's going to freaking hate you. He isn't going to be around you. And at that point, they don't feel the need to keep your secrets. It would be stupid and dangerous for you to do this. But obviously, the stupid plan she had wasn't going to work because Charlotte keeps forgetting all three of them together can outpower and overwhelm her. There is no way she can fight all three of them. She really thought by tricking Lewis to get Cleo to come out there to cost Cleo her powers would mean that Emma and Rikki would just, sit at Emma's house and not come help? That is so dumb. And then she keeps forgetting. Dude, it's three of them and they have the same powers you have. They can literally fight you back. You're so busy trying to do all these theatrics to show how badass you are. You're taking too long of a fucking time to do anything. You've given them absolute time to create this hurricane yet again to come the full moon and drop your dumb ass into the water. And now you don't have any powers. And somehow you're literally shocked by this. But at this point, what the fuck did you expect? Of course this plan was not going to work. Charlotte really thought she was so smart. This damn thing keeps claiming how smart she is, and we are proving time and time and time again that she is a complete and utter dumbass. She is not as smart as she gives herself credit for, and she is not as good at planning things as for the long term, because every plan she's had has always backfired. Her trying to get Lewis to like her backfires. Her forcing Lewis into a relationship thinking that after they get together he has no choice but to spend time with her and not always chase after girls. It backfires. Her believing that becoming a mermaid means that Lewis will give all his attention to her and not the girls. That backfired. Her constantly trying to isolate Lewis from the girls by trying to convince him that they don't care about him. It backfires. Her going after Cleo to try to make Lewis stop talking to Cleo only for him to find out what she's done, and it backfires and she gets fucking dumped. Now this stupid fucking plan. Trick Lewis into thinking that he's tricking her to going out to Mako Island so she can cause Cleo to lose her power. She can be the only special mermaid, and then try to bonus point that with now getting Emma, Rikki, and Cleo in the same pool together, but trying to do it one at a fucking a time when the moon actually gets there, not realizing they have the same damn powers she got and could easily fucking outmatch her. And of course it backfires and she loses her powers. And she still doesn't learn anything. She proves that she's still fucking crazy and obsessed, because after Lewis literally states that he did, yes, care for Cleo more, and that he was in love with Cleo and he was never in love with her, and she knew the shit, she still is protesting that if he changed his mind he could always call her, as if the fuck he's gonna do that after everything you've done. No, he's not. Hell, he's not that fucking stupid. And of course she had to get the fucking locket back, as if you were gonna keep that. That no longer belongs to your grandmother, and it definitely don't belong to you. And yeah, you were right. I agree with her with something. You were totally right. You and your grandmother were not cut out to be mermaids. I'm glad we've gotten to that point. It's over. She's no longer mermaid. Lewis and Cleo can finally be together in peace. And Emma finally told Ash. Finally. And he handled it well. And it ends on a good note. They have survived Charlotte. They've survived their new powers. They have survived this whole damn altitude of 5 days of grief, breakup, obsessed maniacs, the full moon itself, because now the full moon doesn't affect them anymore. And they've also prevented themselves from losing their powers again. Because the last time it was a lunar eclipse, so their powers came back, but this time they avoid them losing them forever. Everybody's happy. And Charlotte is finally gone out of the picture and going back to where the fuck she came from. And I could not be happier, ladies and gentlemen. But hey, at the end of the day, there's really not no much to say. Like, everything in this episode is very explanatory, and there is nothing in this episode that you cannot like unless, you look at Charlotte, having to see her face. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. And we are finally done H2O season 2, and we are on to season 3 for the next week. Now, I don't know what days I have to actually work for the next week, so for until then I find out, I'm not planning on making any videos until after I get off of work tomorrow, but that probably won't be a good idea either, considering I don't know when I'll actually have to work for next week. So I won't find it out till Saturday night, because I forget I don't work tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow. So yeah, I will see you guys then. So we'll see you guys again on Friday when we do our top 10 videos and our more theory videos. And then I'm finally going to do these character breakdown videos Basically talking about all the things I want to talk about on the characters and their growths. And the reason why I'm only doing this for like season 1 and season 2 is because season 3 is considered by the fandom as a whole different season, and everybody's a different person, and they don't really think that season 3 connects to the first 2 seasons. So I'm doing that for that reason. So season 3 could be its own standalone, so we can debunk all of that, like I've been debunking since season 1. But without further ado, I hope you guys have a blessed day. I hope you have a wonderful day. And if no one's told you this today, I'm telling you, I love you guys. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.